when customer experience literally, infiltrates, is a core part of the way that every organization operates. The biggest challenge that customer experience professionals have, the biggest challenge that technology professionals have, is understanding where their piece of the CX puzzle fits and how to communicate that effectively to their management, to their employees, and to their customers.
Hello and welcome to a whole new episode of Engati CX. I'm your host Kimberly and we're really glad to have all of you join us today. On the show, we talk to CX and technology experts from around the world. We explore, uncover and share fresh insights on experiences that your customer will remember and look forward to. Engati is the world's leading multilingual no-code digital CX platform available across 14 channels with 45,000 solutions created across 186 countries in every domain and use case. Engati has also been recognized as the top platform by Inc. magazine, Tech World, CIO magazine, and many others. We run the Engati blog, the video channel, the Engati CX podcast, receiving upwards of 400,000 visitors annually. And now for our guest. Michael Hinshaw is a dynamic and effective customer experience leader, speaker, advisor, coaching executives, and helping companies transform business practices to drive variable customer-centric growth and measurable increases in ROI. As a consultant to senior management, he's helped clients integrate digital and customer-centric innovation to improve business performance by transforming how they interact with customers. Michael also focuses on the market, social and technological forces driving disruptive innovation and what it takes for companies to embrace and profit from this change. Welcome to the show, Michael. We are so glad to have you join us today.
Thanks, Kimberly. Thanks for having me.
But before we dive into our amazing interview with Michael, don't forget to subscribe to Engati and tap the bell icon to get access to exclusive content coming from thought leaders from around the globe. Well, Michael, let's get started. So we would like to know, how should we or businesses deliver a good customer experience that triggers a long-term customer loyalty? What milestones do we track here?
Right. I think that, in organizations that are attempting to drive customer loyalty, the real question that needs to be asked and answered is, what are the kinds of things that the organization does that actually drive loyalty behaviors? And as you're thinking about, what that looks like, there's a lot of things that every company can improve. The question is, what things do you focus on improving, in what order? And there's an aphorism that I use probably too much. It says, there's 1,000 things you have to do, 100 things you must do, and 10 you can. So being able to analyze and understand the places in your business where the things that you do actually have the end result of driving customer loyalty, those are the places you need to focus. So without that filter, without understanding, ideally on a quantitative basis, what actions the company takes that drives what customer behaviors, it's very difficult to understand which behaviors actually drive loyalty. So it's a measurement question and a focus question. And I guess the short answer is there are no singular milestones that every organization can focus on, other than developing a keen understanding of exactly what it is that drives loyalty and then focusing on those items.
Yes, very well put. And I think, yes, it's very essential to first understand what could be the correct milestones or the correct strategies to put in place, rather than just following what the market says. It's also very important that, businesses know what their customers want as well.
Yeah, and also you can't, well, let me reframe it. No business should focus on improving loyalty for all of its customers, at least not equally, because different customers have different value. So as you're thinking about how you're going to better connect with your customers and how you drive loyalty, if you try and improve the experience to a certain degree for all your customers, what you're going to end up doing is you're going to be over-delivering for some segments of customers and under-delivering for other higher value segments of customers.
Yes, very rightly said. Do customer experience strategies need continuous improvements, and how do we identify the gaps in delivering customer experience?
Yeah, so I kind of see that as two questions with very different answers. So the first one around, does it require continuous improvement? Absolutely. It's like transformation is never done. I saw a study, I think it was 2 years ago, year before last, that something like 70% of organizations believe that they were finished with their digital transformation. Well, that's great. Maybe they're finished with that project, but the reality is that whether it's digital transformation or customer experience transformation, it's never done. It's an ongoing continuous improvement. Business models change, competitors change, your customers change, your market changes, maybe it's regulations, combinations of all those things. So there needs to be, within the context of your CX management system and the capabilities you have around that, it's having that regular rhythm of the business where you're able to look at, understand, and say, what's changed in our market that we need to respond to? So when you think about the continuous improvement, the short answer is absolutely yes. The longer answer is it needs to be part of your regular rhythm of customer experience management.
Yes, very well put. So does brand, goodwill, and employee experience play a good role in customer experience? And how should we, or how could we train employees to help deliver an effective customer experience?
Yeah. So you say brand goodwill, we talk about brand strategy. So ultimately, every organization, let me reframe that. Most organizations choose one of three primary business strategies, right? You can be a innovator, kind of a product leader. You can be a segmentation or customer-centric leader, or you can really focus on process and value. And depending on which one of those is a primary strategy and which is secondary, or which two might be secondary, that's going to inform your brand strategy. So say, for example, if your all-up business strategy is on innovation, your brand strategy promises your customers innovation in one way or another. Now, delivering on the promise of that brand strategy is the job of your customer experience strategy. If your business value is driven through delivering innovation, your brand promises innovation, the customer experience strategy needs to be able to say, how do we deliver innovation consistently, systematically, and do so over time? As you think about that, so yes, brand has a lot to do with customer experience, because the brand makes the promise that your customer experience strategy has to consistently deliver on.
Right.
So linking that to employees, right? Your employees, they're the ones who actually deliver that. They make that real. So how does your customer experience strategy break down in ways that enable your employees to deliver on it, right? If you have a brand strategy of innovation and your employees, for example, don't have access to the tools, or they're unable to make decisions that benefit customers, that help to drive innovation, if you have multiple processes and difficult contracts, then ultimately the last mile of experience delivery is going to fail, because your employees don't have the ability to deliver on your customer experience strategy or your brand strategy.
Yes, you've very rightly mentioned that innovation has always been a part of brand strategies. Talking about innovation and technology, the post-pandemic phase of businesses have kind of accelerated digital transformation. So what role do you see digital technologies play in improving CX?
Yeah, so we talk about this meaning today being really, actually in fairness, probably the last year or two being wave 4 of the customer experience revolution. As we think about the 3 different waves, and we've been in business since 2002 and only focused on customer experience improvement, primarily for large enterprises and mid-sized organizations. And in that time, we started out in kind of what we saw as wave 1 of customer experience, which is around tools and techniques, journey mapping, persona development, customer research, things of that nature. Moving into phase 2 of or wave 2 of customer experience, and this started maybe 15 plus years ago, or 10 to 15 years ago, organizations would be trying to understand, how do we build the internal capabilities to manage our experiences consistently, right? How do we put the governance frameworks in place? How do we put listening systems in place? How do we put measurement systems in place? Well, how should our culture and organization be redesigned, refined, improved to accurately deliver against the promises that our brand's making in the market? And so in that wave, we have helped design organizations' internal CX departments. We've helped to design measurement structures and measurement systems. We've helped train leadership in CX on how they can organize and structure their various capabilities. Wave 3 is really around business model impact. So we call it essentially a customer experience operating model. There's a lot of talk around customer centricity, right? Putting the customer at the center of the business. And conceptually, that sounds great. But actually delivering on that requires organizations to align their systems against that, and to do so in ways that let them make sure that they're actually getting the business results they desire. Because you put the customer at the center of your business, and you don't make money doing it, you're in the wrong business, or you've got the wrong strategy, or both. So, so that customer experience operating model is wave 3. And just like with channels, right? You think about banking, started out with just a teller in the bank, and then the phone, and then you added ATMs, and then you added mobile, and you added desktop, then mobile. In banking, in every industry, channels, the first channels never go away. Channels proliferate. So in the CX movement, it's the same thing. We're still doing personas, we're still doing journey maps, we're still helping organizations design their internal customer experience management capabilities. We're still helping companies integrate their capabilities into their business models. And wave 4 is where technology is actually beginning to drive CX. And so when you ask about kind of the role that digital technologies play, we're moving from more manual-based activities, more point solutions, to fully integrated digital solutions that allow organizations to understand their telemetry in real time. What are we doing to our customers? That allows them to understand in real time the perceptions that customers are having as a result of those interactions at every stage of a journey, across every journey. And they're able to utilize technology to effectively not only listen to customers in ways that are structured and formal, they can also listen to customers in ways that are unstructured and informal, and organize all this in ways that let them actually design, deliver, optimize journeys on a real-time basis. And so we're at the first stage of wave 4 as it relates to digital technologies affecting customer experience. As we think about the possibilities going forward, it's pretty interesting. And we're at the early stage of AI, ML, all of these tools and technologies that are being utilized to help really understand the customer with greater intimacy. But it's not just understanding what customers do, it's understanding how customers feel about what they do and being able to put those two pieces of information against one another. So, and that's one of the challenges that I've always seen, and most organizations have. Customers say they do things, they don't always do. So their feelings, what they say about their feelings, are generally pretty accurate. What they say about their behaviors is less so. And given that, depending on which expert you listen to, 90 to 95% of customers' decision-making process is driven by, kind of more of an emotional, less rational, if you will, mindset. It's really important that we understand how customers feel, but we also are able to track what they do against how they feel. And long story short, digital technology is going to help make that happen.
Yes, definitely. You said it best when you said that technology is actually being like the key point for driving a good CX. So now that we've had all our channels put in place, how can we ensure a consistent omnichannel experience for our customers? And do you think technologies like chatbots and live chat enhance, improve CX on a larger scale, or can this combination of both work best as well?
Whether it's a chatbots, live chat, customer research, polling technologies, journey optimization, all of those tools are useful in different situations. So I wouldn't, on a blanket basis, say that live chat or chatbots are good or bad. They're good when they're needed. When they're not needed, they're not good. Right. So there's, again, it's not a black, white, left, right, a binary decision. It's more nuanced than that. But the reality is that today, our customers want so we use the phrase digital first, but not digital only,
Yes.
because our customers want a digital first experience. And they don't want to talk to a person. They don't want to interact with a person. They don't want to interact with a chatbot until the moment they want to talk to a person. They want to interact on chat. They want to reach out to the organization. And then they want to be able to talk to somebody immediately, and they want to talk to the right person immediately. So the challenge in deploying technology is making it self-serve, easy across all industries, B2B, B2C, financial, retail, kind of pick your industry. But then ensuring that you understand your customers well enough that you have the ability to deliver the experiences they want at the channels, across and through the channels that they desire using, at the times that they desire using those things. So there isn't, again, necessarily a thing as a quote unquote consistent omni-channel experience, because one customer is going to want to have a very different omni-channel experience than another. One customer is going to want to start with the web, move to a call center, then complete in store. Another customer might want web only. They don't want to do anything, have anything to do with the call center. Another customer might go to the store and then expect to complete it digitally. And so when you think about, we're talking earlier about digital technology, with the ability to optimize journeys, to optimize journey flow based on customer segments and traditional or historical behaviors, and sometimes even real time in the moment, where you can help divert a customer who might dead end with a full shopping cart they don't utilize to check out online, that you can optimize the journey to push them someplace that will increase their chances of completing that transaction.
Yes. What do you think of chatbots and live chat being a part of customer support teams? How do you think that these platforms will actually support customers in terms of crisis?
As I mentioned, they're great tools to have in the arsenal, and they're not right at all times for all customers in all situations. But in those places, at those times where it is right, then they're great tools to use. One of the challenges that we see organizations do is when a new technology comes in, they try and deploy it equally across their entire employee base to their entire customer base. Right. And when you do that, you're hitting one segment of your customers, but you're ignoring the needs of customers on one end, and you're sometimes ignoring the needs of customers on the other end. And so what ends up happening from a customer perspective, it's easy to feel like you're being forced into channels that you don't want to interact with.
Correct. Yes. Very well said. Is there any other thoughts that you would like to leave our audience? Do you would like to summarize this, or is there anything else that we've missed?
Yeah, I mean, customer experience has moved from being a niche, if you will, one area of business improvement, to really encompassing almost everything that an organization does. And that's a pretty tall order for any technology, any organization to look at. I mean, when customer experience literally, infiltrates, is a core part of the way that every organization operates. The biggest challenge that customer experience professionals have, the biggest challenge that technology professionals have, is understanding where their piece of the CX puzzle fits, and how to communicate that effectively to their management, to their employees, and to their customers. We see many organizations, both technology vendors, end user corporations, and consulting firms saying, we improve CX. Well, the reality is there's a lot of things that can be done to improve CX, but tightly defining the piece of it that you focus on is important to being able to communicate effectively, and to frankly, gain credibility in the organizations that you're working in or selling to.
Yes, you've given a complete different perspective of CX. Thank you so much for sharing these insights. Thank you for your time as well. Your insights were really valuable, and I know our audience is going to enjoy this interview as much as I did.
That's great. Thanks so much, Kimberly. I appreciate your time. Have a wonderful evening, and thanks again for inviting me.
Yeah. We'll be back again with a new episode and a brand new expert soon. So stay tuned, and we'll see you around for the next one.